Josh Hunter, presently in the city of Santa Monica, California. I got a couple things I need to bring up. I think there are 4 things. Let's see if I can remember all 4. First thing is, yesterday I was asleep, and sometimes when I'm sleeping, like, I'll accidentally bite my tongue, and yesterday I was like sleeping, and like I bit my tongue really, really hard, but it didn't bleed. Like it should have been hard enough to bleed, but it didn't. And I fucking like, it hurt a lot. It was the hardest I ever bit my tongue, and it really hurt. And like I was like I almost cried. I'm not like almost cried, like oh, you know, like wincing at the pain, like, because you know, like when you have to hold back tears. Okay, I wasn't having to hold back tears, but I'm like, this is where I should be crying. This fucking hurts so much. And then later on in the day, I was I injured my thumb as well, and it bled a lot. Like I don't know, I had an issue with my right thumb, and it was like the whole part, you know, where your nail, where it's, you know, anyway, the whole nail was filled with blood, and it was like, that's a lot of blood. And then that hurt too, but it didn't hurt as much as, and I was just like, why is this happening? I try to move gracefully. I always move in a way that I do not cause myself or others physical injury. So I was trying to think, oh, how do I determine, like, is this my fault, or did I just, like, have I been driving poorly, is what I'm saying. Like, am I being like a poor driver? Because I consider the body as a vehicle, and so, like, because I don't have a car. I've never driven a car more than 10 times in my whole life. I don't have a driver's license. I never had a driver's license. And so, to me, like, I drive my body. My body is my vehicle. So whenever any type of physical injury comes up, I'm like, how is this even fucking possible? Because, like, I consider myself a very good driver. Anyway. Third thing, so they're painting this thing, or I don't know if they finished, on 3rd Street Promenade. It's a picture of, like, this guy coming out of the TV with, like, strings attached to his fingers. So as I was walking by this, as they were painting it, they were painting the sign. So I'm going through the trash can, and then this lady, she happens to be, like, close by, and she asks the guy, like, oh, what does this mean? Because it's like a guy, you can't see his face, you know, because I got scared, because it looks like me, and I'm like, oh, fuck, did I do something? Did I fucking do something? And someone's like, oh, we fucking got you, guy. And I started getting nervous, because I'm thinking, what could I have done? I've had, like reactions. All right, here's the thing. Sometimes I've noticed, like, a certain type of like, I'm always like I said, I'm a connected person, okay? Like, things aren't happening that don't have anything to do with me, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell people this, but nobody wants to believe me. They want to keep pretending something. Anyway, this could be arrogance, or narcissism, a narso-paranoia, you know, a narcissistic paranoia, narso-paranoic reaction could be what this is. Anyway. Oh wait, a narcissistic paranoid delusion. There we go. Alright. So it's a picture of this guy, like, coming out of the screen. He's like, rah, look at that, fucking, you know, it's like some coming out of your TV screen. Like, oh, what is it? But he's got the strings on it, so it's like, the implication. Alright, so anyway, the lady asked, like, what is this guy doing? You know, what does this mean? What does this screen mean? And the guy was like, oh, it just means, like, you know, like, TV is, like, trying to control everybody or whatever. It's like this old message, right, that we've been hearing for, like, 40, 50 years. And so then, you know, I thought, oh, I guess that must be my cue to fucking chime in. And so I did. And I said, well, how can, like, but, like, we're all on TV, right? Like, everyone, like, TV is not, like, some separate place anymore where it's like, oh, there are people who are on TV, people who are in movies, and people who aren't. But since people have, like, YouTubes and social media and Twitter and Instagram and all these things, very, very many people are being seen by very, very many people. So this idea that like the TV is controlling everything, like that's an old idea. Like, because that means we're all controlling each other. Like we're all puppeting each other. Anyway. Oh, that's what that. Okay, I get it. All right. Oh. All right, anyway. All right, anyway. So after I said that, the guy was like, "Oh, you're right." And then I was like, "Oh." But I said something like that. I didn't say that exactly, but it was something. It was something akin to, "Oh, I mean, we're not all like TV is not like evil. I mean, not in the way that we think it is." And so I got scared and I thought, like, does this have something to do with me? Because when like you're your own, like when there's no one else and it's just you, you're like, oh, I must be responsible for everything, right? I guess. Anyway, so he said, he didn't like try and argue, he didn't try and say whatever, he's like, oh, you're right. And he said like, and then I'm like, oh, all right, and I just walked away. And I thought to myself, am I an asshole? Because like, that's like, I know exactly, because there's some people like, they just like, it's all about being right and wrong. They just want to be right. And I had to ask myself, like, am I a person who just wants to be right? Is that what this is? Am I being shown to myself like, oh, like I could have just said nothing. I could have just walked by and just let this thing happen. Now she asked the question. Normally I wouldn't have even asked the question, but she asked the question. He started answering. I thought. The other thing about this though is that it's a really scary picture. Okay, it's like a guy, like just like, wow, like coming out of the screen. It's on 3rd Street Promenade here in Santa Monica. I think it's right across the street from, right across the Promenade Street or whatever from Champs, the shoe store or whatever. And like, to me, I'm thinking like, if I were a kid seeing this, I'd be scared out of my fucking wits, dude. Like if I were a kid walking by, like this is a scary fucking image. And I'm trying to think to myself, like, why are they putting this up now? Like people are already fucking scared. There's so many fucking scary things going on right now, okay? Fucking coronavirus, mass shootings, recessions, unemployment, the threat of world war, all these fucking scary things. And they would have put up one more fucking scary thing. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? Like, it's irresponsible. Like, who commissioned this is what I want to know, because they weren't thinking, by the way. Anyway. So I thought it was too scary. I also thought it was kind of interesting because on this very same street, when Barnes & Noble used to be around, I remember one time I was walking by Barnes & Noble and they used to have their magazines up front. It was on Wilshire, like facing the street. And I walked by and I saw like, they have up in front, they have all the magazines and they had like a Playboy magazine like right in front. I mean, it was censored, like, but you could see it was Playboy and whatever. And so I thought, and this is when I was homeless too. And so I was thinking to myself, it's a bit much, like you couldn't put that back. So I went into the Barnes & Noble and I said, hey, you guys got this fucking Playboy magazine facing the street. Like any child can walk by and get wrong ideas. Like what the fuck's wrong with you? I didn't say it like that, but I mean, it said I didn't say that exactly, but it was similar to that. And the guy was like, oh, well, our planogram says the planogram is the plans that they have to put certain things out like that. So their planogram is their instructions for how to arrange whatever their product is. And so they said our planogram, well, I don't know if they said planogram, but that's how I remember it. Anyway, they said, he said our planogram says that we have to put men's interests in front. And Playboy is a part of men's interests. So because it was included in the men's interests, it had to be placed in front. And I don't remember what I said after that, but I mean, it was just like, that was his answer. It's like, oh, well, we gotta put it in front. Like, it doesn't matter if, like we're just doing our job, all right? If they say we gotta put the fucking Playboy in front, then we gotta put the Playboy in front. And now Barnes & Noble is out of business. I mean, they were already on their way out, but I mean, like, I wonder why. I mean, I just happened to see that. How many years had they been doing that? Putting Playboys in front? I mean, I'm not criticizing. I mean, some people are like, oh yeah, get your kids ready. Let them know what it's all about. You know, some people are like that. They're like, you want your kids to be fucking seeing this now. Get it, you know. I wouldn't want my kids like that, but you know, everyone does what they need to do. All right. So, okay, and the fourth thing. So, as you know, the marriage between myself being Joshua Hunter, marriage between myself and Taylor Swift is pretty much a guaranteed thing, confirmed even. But our communication may not be like so great. Like, I don't know if we're communicating very well right now. So I wanted to say to Taylor, I don't want you to use our marriage as a platform to try and become president of the United States. I think it's a bad idea, and if you have any idea whatsoever of using our marriage as a platform to become president of the United States, I want to disabuse you of that notion. It is my understanding that now that, you know, people think that, oh, well, now any of us can become president. I think you should probably step away from that idea. I'm not assuming that you have that idea, but just in case, I want it to be clear. I want nothing to do with being a part of the political arena, and I don't believe that my wife, my fiance, Taylor Swift, should be interested even the slightest bit in becoming president of the United States. Whatever you think you're gonna get there, whatever you think you can do, you don't need that platform. You could do, if you feel you want to help people, if you want to make the world a better place, you want to show them, hey, you know, you want to lead the people in some, if that's what it's about, you want people to be led properly, okay, well then, you know, talk to me. I'll tell you something about leadership. Anyway, so I just wanted to make sure that you know this, Taylor, that it's not a good idea, and in our case specifically, it would be a trap. And I'm gonna say something, and I'm not sure if it's okay for me to say it, but fuck, who cares? I mean, somebody cares, but the office of the President of the United States is a trap. It always has been a trap, and it always will be a trap. Anybody who is like, oh, I should definitely fucking, you know, become president of the United States. Like, it's not, it's literally, it's only for a certain type of person. And so if you're saying you want to be president of the United States, you're saying something. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you're saying. All I'm letting you know is that it is a trap. So I'm telling you, Taylor, baby, this ain't the way, okay? You know, the road to the White House should be closed to us, and so, or to you. I mean, and to me. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm a bum. I don't do anything. So I just want to make sure that this is known, that we're on this, that we understand each other, and that things are well. Because, like I said, our communication needs a bit more, you know. I'm 33 years old, and I've got the best grades on earth.